All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Covered. And today I have two awesome people here, Carrie Thompson and Amelia Brady from Family Room. Yep. And Carrie, you're the founder and executive director, and Amelia, you are the development manager, right? Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. So I guess before we get kind of started with some of my questions, I will share like how I found out about you guys. So I go to Mercy Hill. My wife and I, we go there, and there's this thing called what's it called?
No spectators.
Yeah, because you go to Mercy Hill.
No more spectators.
No more spectators. That's right. Yeah. And so it's just a lot of different opportunities to volunteer outside of Mercy Hill, and our company likes to do some volunteer work with different organizations, and so I was just looking on the website, like seeking out things that we could do together as a group, and saw Family Room, reached out to you guys. You guys were very responsive. I can't remember who actually responded to me first, but so there was some kind of email back and forth, and that I was kind of confused on, like, because we're a group, there's some classes that I guess that you guys want some people to take,
Sure.
some kind of, like some training or whatever. Yeah. And so I didn't know like how logistically that would work out with our group, or can we just show up one day together as a group or whatever. So, so anyway, we've helped out a couple of times, and it's been a good experience, and hopefully good for you guys as well.
Wonderful. It's been fantastic. Yeah. It was great.
Cool. So, well, just tell me a little bit about, your company and like how it got started, when did it get started, and that kind of thing.
Okay, sure. So in 2018, we opened our doors to families in the community, and it got started because my husband and I were foster parents. And it was through that lived experience that we realized how much support families that foster need, how challenging it is, especially at that initial time when the kids first come into your care.
Yeah.
All the stuff and the things that you need right away. And I also wanted to have a place where people in the community that can't foster, or they don't realize that they can foster yet, could support the families that are fostering. Our big thing is that not everyone can foster, but everyone can help.
Yeah.
And so
like rope holders.
Yeah. Same concept at Mercy Hill.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have a place where I could bridge those two groups together.
Okay.
And then also to share with the community, the broader community that has a lot of misconceptions about foster care and what it's really like for children in care and families that foster. I wanted to be able to have a platform to educate and advocate out in the community. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to be a foster parent to begin with?
That's a long story, but the really short version, my husband and I, like a lot of people, we had some fertility challenges.
Okay. And
after many years of trying to birth biological children, we were able to. And it was after our first daughter was born, we were so overwhelmed at how much we loved this human.
Yeah.
We just had no idea how much you could love somebody.
Yeah.
And we realized then that there's so many kids in the world, even here in the United States, that they're not valued and loved and cared for the way that we were doing that with our daughter. Yeah. And, I'm not a perfect parent. Like, we messed it up a lot. You just ask my kids, but it was just that feeling of like, every kid should just be treasured and know how amazing they are and what just loving little creatures that they are. Yeah. And so it was after our first daughter was born that I realized that I wanted to adopt. And so fertility again was an issue. But after our second daughter was born, my husband was actually at a conference, and he heard the conference wasn't even about adoption.
Okay.
But he heard somebody talking about, everybody says there's all these challenges to adoption and they make it so hard to adopt. But if you know that you're supposed to do that, he said, if you have kids, if your child was out there right now, you would do anything you had to do to bring your kid home. You would sell your house, get another car, take out a loan, do whatever,
Yep.
And if you're supposed to adopt, your kid's out there. What are you doing to bring it home?
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And he texted me from the conference. He was like, we're doing it, like, and we just had a heart for foster care. There's so many different ways to adopt, but for us, we just knew that that was the right fit for our family.
Sure.
And once we got into it, we realized and learned so much more about foster care, that primary goal is to keep the family together,
Yep.
But we went into it with the idea that there are kids that they're not ever going to get reunified with their families,
Right,
which
right.
is hard.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's extremely unfortunate. And so we at Family Room, we want to support the initial goal of foster care, which is family reunification, and do everything that we can to support the families that are fostering so that the kids can be home with their families.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, then we also want to be able to make sure that families are able to adopt the kids. And that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Awesome.
2 of our 4 kids are adopted from
Okay.
foster care. So
I'm adopted.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually from Korea. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Didn't find out until I was 10. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
Wow.
I'll save that story for another time.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe when we get done, I'll share.
Yeah,
it.
I'd love to- love
But
to
it was pretty cool. It was kind of disappointing in a way because I thought we were going to adopt my best friend. So yeah, but it turned out it was me that was adopted, and then that's how I found out.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So so Amelia, how long have you been with Family Room now?
I have been with Family Room since the end of May,
Okay.
and we are also a licensed foster family. And we've just said
Okay.
yes to a 16-year-old who
Awesome.
is looking for a permanent home. So we are in transition of getting all the paperwork completed and doing
Yeah.
a change of placement.
Okay.
So yeah, excited.
So
about
what
that.
for those that don't know, like what all goes, like how much is involved in getting a child finally to your house and moved in and all that. So like how much vetting and like overall, like how long does that take?
It depends on the agency that you go with, but typically from start to finish, it could be completed in 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to take some classes. They're called MAP classes, and
Yeah.
they're basically to prepare you for the scenarios that you may have to deal with, to help you to understand about shared parenting with the biological parents. And again, that reinforcing that you're here to take care of the child so that the parents can get the services and support they need to be back together. And then they do a background check,
Sure,
a
of
home
course.
study. There's things in the home that have to be set up. You have to show that you're financially stable to support yourself
Sure.
and those in your home and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Fire department comes, you have to have
Yes.
an escape route,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of those things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, you have to have like huge hearts to open up your home. But I mean, kids they're so awesome.
Yeah.
So I know Mercy Hill definitely talks a lot about fostering and adoption.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
So. Well, can you explain the mission of Family Room and why it's important in today's society?
Yes. So our mission is to love, encourage, and support families that foster and the children in their care. And we believe that it's important because although the state or the government, a lot of people say, well, if the government was doing what they were supposed to do, I'm on the other end. I'm
Yeah.
like, if the people were doing what we're
Right.
supposed to do,
Right.
then the government wouldn't need to be involved. But
Yeah.
anyway, so they do the very best that they can, but there's gaps.
Yeah.
There's gaps there.
Limited resources.
Yeah, there are limited
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we want to make sure that foster parents feel supported by their community, that, they're seen.
Yeah.
A lot of foster parents, most of them, they're not going to share how hard it is. They're not going to talk about the challenges and
Yeah.
that kind of thing because they don't want to discourage anyone else from becoming foster parents.
Right.
And most of them, they're doing it for the right reasons because they love the kids. They want
Yeah.
to take care of the children. They
Yeah.
want the kids to know how special and loved and valued that they are despite the situation that they're currently in.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we want to make sure that they're given dignity and, especially at that initial time when they're first coming into foster care, that's traumatic for
Yeah.
them. And so we want them to know that their community loves them and is here to support them in whatever they need.
So how many other organizations like Family Room is even around? I think I saw on your website that you're the only one in the state.
So we're the only, this location is the only family room.
Okay.
There are some other foster care resource centers throughout the state that support foster care in a variety of different ways.
Right.
There's a couple that do the things like we do. We'll talk more about exactly what we do, but it's providing the stuff that they need.
Okay.
Not to the scale that family does. Our main focus is when the child first comes into a new foster care, making sure that they have everything that they need right away, reducing that stress on the foster parents of having to worry about, where are they going to get all of the things that they need to take care of the kids. Right. Yeah. And so, one, we don't want foster parents to feel like they need to say no to that placement call request from the social worker because they just don't have the finances right now to get the kids everything they need until they can get their first check.
Okay.
But also, most of the time, they don't say no. They say yes. And I'm like, oh, we're just going to figure it out, And then sometimes the kids just don't get what they need until the foster parents have the resources to get them. Or they're, it's minimum, example, every child in foster care has the legal right to have their own bed, to not have to share a bed with another child, as they should, and a spot for their own stuff. So that's a dresser that is just their things. They're not sharing their pajama drawer with another kid that they don't know.
Right.
Well, they have a right for that, but the state also gives the foster parents a week to make that happen. And at Family Room, we're here to make sure that does not happen. So we always have bassinets, cribs, toddler beds, twin beds, every size bed in stock all the time, so that no matter what age child comes into your home, they don't go a night without a bed. Right. That's their bed that they're comfortable in. Yeah.
Okay. And just like foster families, they're on call, and we want to be on call as well. Yeah. So if we get a call, we had a couple weeks ago, a family, and I don't know if you were going to share this, but a couple weeks ago, there was a family who said yes to a 5-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And it was a tough call to take.
Now, they're all from the same family?
They're all from their siblings.
Okay.
And they do try and keep siblings together. That's important.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so the fact that she said yes to that range.
Right,
but they came with nothing. The clothes on their backs. No car seats, nothing. And so we're going, how are you going to get here to get the stuff? And fortunately, she had, access, but we were able to pack everything up and that they needed. Able to give car seats, and we try and make that.
So, is there ever a time where maybe they don't have the transportation to get the stuff that they need from you guys, and how do you guys assist with that?
Yes, that's a great question. We're working on a grant right now for a cargo truck.
Okay.
We keep asking for it, but if anybody has a cargo truck that you want to donate to Family Room. So if there's a situation where, and that happens a lot, where we have foster parents that have need, we have the stuff, but they just don't have transportation to get it there.
Right.
Or
maybe like a small car or something like that.
Right.
The crib and bed
we actually
and all
had
stuff.
We actually had a lady show up one time. She called and she needed a twin bed, and I was like, we have the bed, we have the mattress, the bedding, come on. And she pulled up in a 4-door sedan, and I was like, how are you gonna get that home? And she was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I didn't even think about that. I was just trying to figure out where this kid's going to go to school tomorrow. It didn't even occur to me, So we have a volunteer that has a truck, and he uses his own truck right now. We have several other volunteers that they're willing. We just don't, they don't have a truck or a van or, whatever. Okay. So, so Mr. Pat, who is a rope holder at Murphy Hill. Do you know Pat?
Oh, yeah. Met him in Italy, actually.
Are you for real?
Yeah, we were on the same vacation. And then we, in the middle of the vacation, we figured out oh, wait, we go to the same church? What?
Wow.
Crazy small world.
Yes. He,
Pat and Donna,
I wouldn't say he bought the truck for Family Room, but he sure uses the truck a lot for Family Room.
The white Honda.
Yes. He delivered furniture this week.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. I forgot to ask if it was on the first floor, and it wasn't. So he loaded that bed up those stairs, that dresser up those stairs for that family. Yeah.
But otherwise, it's like Tetris that we play.
The
cars to get everything to fit.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure, too, that, if they're getting a bed or a crib, that it's actually put together for them. So it's one less thing for them to think about when they get home.
Which is also what Pat does. He comes in every week. He assembles all the furniture.
I was talking about that when we were there last time. I was like, hey, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm here every week.
Every week.
That's awesome.
Every week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes a couple times a week.
So how do people get that kind of stuff over to you guys?
To donate it to
Yeah.
us? So every Tuesday from 9 in the morning to 7 at night,
Okay.
and every Saturday until 1 p.m., our donation center, which is right behind 5 Star Roofing.
Yeah.
Our donation center is open. You can just
Okay.
come by anytime and drop it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
And
no
then
appointment necessarily.
Not on those times.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, if it's a situation where they have large furniture, and he's done that before, but he does need more help.
Yeah.
Because it's just, the word is getting out more about us and the need for those items. He also picks up some of the furniture that we purchase. The donations that come in are no longer keeping up with the demand of the kids that we're serving. And so
Okay.
now we have to fundraise to purchase
Gotcha.
beds and mattresses and dressers and car seats and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so there's a local company in High Point that, I'm sorry, I'm going off.
No, you're good.
Going off the rails.
Hey, no, you're good.
Again, with the cargo truck.
Yeah.
There's a local company in High Point that allows us to buy their furniture at their cost, so when we don't have donations in stock, we'll
Yep.
buy them from them and go over and
Okay.
pick them up. And there's another company in High Point that we buy mattresses from at a really good rate. And so,
Sure.
but yeah, donations of those big items is very important.
Okay. Well, we're so close.
You are so
we have
close.
a lot of trucks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so if you ever get into a pinch where it's like, man, we really need to get this stuff over to a family, or we need to pick up some stuff, just call us.
Awesome.
We might be able to
That's great.
help you guys
Yeah.
out just like at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have churches and other, businesses in the community that will do donation drives.
Yeah.
And we have an awesome volunteer that heads that up and
Yeah.
coordinates everything, organizes. Because at different times of the year, we'll need, different things.
Yeah.
Some of the most common items that we need on, in stock are the bigger, the car seats. Carrie mentioned the beds. We have high calorie formula. There's a formula, a specific formula that a lot of the newborns that are coming in that may be born prematurely, that is so. Always new underwear, new socks.
Yes.
Biggie.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are
We
some
have
things.
3 empty sock bins right now. So
Okay.
yes, we need new
Okay.
socks. Yeah. Because we try to provide new socks and new underwear, diapers, wipes, formula, hygiene products,
Okay.
all that kind of
So
stuff.
that's
every
all.
time.
Like you always need.
It's a
that.
constant.
Okay.
We always need
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Never
But those
get
are
too
great
much.
for donation drives. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot
Yeah.
of businesses will put our bin in their lobby and run a donation drive. Or look at the holidays. Everyone is, has that goodwill.
Yeah.
So
Mindset.
they want, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, let's see here. You talked about the different types of items and resources that you provide. Talk about a success story that highlights the impact of Family Room and what it's had on a foster family.
Awesome. So I could talk till Jesus literally comes back about that, but one that
soon.
really right, one that really sticks out. So Amelia mentioned kinship foster. So can I just define that real quick?
Yeah.
For those that don't understand.
Yep.
So when children are when it is decided by social services that it's best for the children to be removed from their home, the first thing that the social worker does is just look, is there somebody the kids know that will take them, that they can go stay with?
Yeah.
They're still in foster care. They're still technically wards of the state,
Yeah.
but
Friends of the family.
friends of the
Yeah.
family, grandma, aunt,
Okay.
cousin, somebody.
Okay. So they still could be related.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
it's a bit less traumatic for the children
Yeah.
to
'Cause
go
there's some
stay with somebody.
familiarity there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Than with perfect strangers. So we got a call from a lady who was asked to take a sibling group of 8. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
5 of those 8 are teenagers.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she said yes,
Wow.
all of them
Wow.
at the same time.
Wow.
So she called us, and that's 3 sets of bunk beds.
Yeah.
That was 5 dressers.
Yeah.
We even found somebody she didn't have. She said yes and didn't even have a working dryer.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I posted on Facebook. Somebody bought her a dryer right away.
Right away.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Right away. Had it delivered to her house.
No
It was
kidding.
wonderful.
Wow.
Yes.
See, there's a lot of really good people still
There
left in
are.
this
There
world,
really are.
Yeah.
There
yeah.
really are.
You see all the bad stuff on TV all
Yeah.
the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, man, there's still a lot of really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
there are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that keeps us going, because we hear the stories of why the kids are placed in
Yeah.
care. And,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
see them move from foster home to foster home. And so knowing that these foster parents that say yes, and the people in the community that come and volunteer every week. You know, I mean, to talk about Pat, we can count on him. We know he's going to be there every single week. It's not like when he has some extra time to, you know, I mean, when y'all's team came and built the shelves for our placement pantry so that we could provide groceries for families, you know, and that lady that was able to take in 8, we gave her, I can't even tell you how much food. Oh my gosh.
Food.
Wagons and wagons and wagons. Yeah, because 8 kids, you know.
It's a lot of massive feed.
And that was one of the things that, to me, the beds were the most important thing. But to her, just having that food for those kids and to be able to have them sit down at a table that night together as a family and eat was just incredible.
Awesome.
And they still come, you know, every few months. They come back in, and as their needs change and they grow and need different sizes and that kind of stuff, they come in.
And that's a good point too, is that we aren't just, you come in one time. No, we understand that children grow and seasons change. And so we are there for that throughout the duration of their placement.
So what's the, can you speak to like the need of foster parents, like in, you know, this area? Here, like
huge.
How? What's the demand?
Well,
you know?
one thing that would help them is if we had more foster parents.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge shortage of foster parents.
Huge shortage. Okay.
I mean, post COVID, there was a massive exodus of foster parents in the system, and you know, all the agencies and social services are really working hard to try to get people back in. But the families that are there, knowing that the community is there to help them. Supporting organizations like Family Room is very helpful so that when they have those needs, we're here and they're on call all the time. If you know and you have a relationship with foster parents, you know, offer to pick the kids up after school and take them to the park to give the foster parents just like a couple hour break, you know, or
no, that's a good idea.
Give them date nights and that kind of thing. And, like one of the
just
things
like any other parent, you know, like, hey, we watch our grandkids all the time. You know, like, hey, you guys need a date night out. Let's watch. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Someone mentioned that to me the other day. She was just learning about foster care, and it was a meeting that we were in, and she said, a foster parent explained to me, like, they can't just go be with their grandparents anymore. Like, if your grandkids right now went into foster care, you wouldn't get to keep them on the weekends right away. You know, like, there's just, they don't know. And so a lot of the kids, they need other people to come around them. And not just support the foster parents, but be other adults in relationship with the kids. You know,
it could look like mentorship too. You know, I'm thinking about the 16-year-old that we're getting ready to, you know, have in our home, and I'm thinking about who do we know that can be a mentor that And
so now, how long have you been a foster parent?
About a year.
Oh, okay. Loving it. Seem like you're super happy.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. It definitely has its challenges. It's a beautiful and messy thing, is what I like to say. But to kind of touch on your question before, I mean, we were just looking at some stats and figures of how many families, the numbers, versus the children in care, and it really is so unbalanced. It's about, I would say
there's around 11,000 kids in foster care in North Carolina, and there's an average of 5,000 foster homes, licensed foster homes.
So it's like double the amount of children, sometimes triple depending upon the county.
So does the state know about Family Room, and that, or at least around here, they can come to you guys and
So often we keep a relationship with a lot of the social workers. Of course, sadly, there's a lot of turnover, so it's just a constant. It's constant keeping relationship and communication with the new social workers. And then a lot of the agencies will invite me to come in and speak at the end of their MAP classes that I referred to earlier, the training classes. And just share with the families about Family Room, about what that first call is going to look like and feel like, and that we're here for them. Just take a breath. A lot of times they come in just frantic and
pretty overwhelming.
I mean, when they call and they're like, they just brought me a baby. And I was like, okay, ma'am, how can we help you? They just brought me a baby.
You don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, she said, yes,
Yeah.
she
Like
said,
that,
no,
nothing.
just a baby. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, how soon can you be here? You know,
Right.
and by the time she leaves, she's calmed down
Yep.
and feels reassured that, you know, she got the diapers and the bottles and the formula and the
Yeah.
clothes and the car seat and, you know, all the things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she said, they didn't even leave me a car seat, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that obviously they transported the baby in a car seat, but they keep that for
Right,
other
just-
babies.
right,
Yeah.
and
Right,
that's
yeah,
just-
Yeah.
that's
That's
not-
it. Like
yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Yeah, I mean,
limited
for us,
resources.
you know, for one of ours, like we got the call, okay, the baby's ready. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, at the hospital, like, he'll be ready in an hour. Like, can you be here? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't even know
Yeah.
you picked us for this baby, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
We'll bring a car seat. We'll do a car seat test. I'm
Right.
like, what's a car seat test? You know? Yeah.
Wow. So I saw on your website you have like that emergency phone number, right? So the response time when somebody calls that number is typically
Less than an hour.
okay.
Yeah.
So like you literally can have some stuff to them, or like they're going to get a call back within an hour.
So if it's an emergency placement and they say that on their voicemail,
Yeah.
it will go right to my phone. I will immediately
Okay.
get a text message.
Okay, gotcha.
And I say in the voicemail, like, we will call you back within an hour to
Okay.
set up a time today if that's what the kids need to
yeah.
get you in right away.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like this morning, the lady called and said they dropped off 2 kids, you know, last night.
Yeah.
With what they had on.
Right.
And so she's coming at 1:30 to
Okay.
get stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. So in what ways can the community get involved in supporting the work of Family Room?
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
question. Yes. Volunteering. Again, we keep
Yeah.
talking about Mr. Pat. We need lots of volunteers. There's no way that we could do what we do without an army of volunteers. Either groups like what you guys do, where
Yep.
there's big projects that need to be done, and you bring in
Yep.
groups of people. We need consistent volunteers that
Okay.
they learn the role. They could do. You know,
Yep.
Pat knows how to put a crib together in his sleep now
Yeah.
because he's just
Yeah.
that's what he does.
Yeah.
You know, over and over again, and so. Having people that can consistently commit to being there on a regular basis to take care of the responsibilities that need to be done. Doing donation drives in the community, at churches, at your businesses.
Okay.
You know, some families will do like instead of at Christmas time, you know, instead of exchanging gifts among the adults, each one will,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
donate the funds
yeah.
they would have bought for each other.
Oh, that's
to
cool.
family,
Yeah.
You know, that
And
kind of thing.
then to you
yeah.
guys, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 There's-
We are a nonprofit, so finances, you know, being monthly sustainers are huge for us. Corporate sponsors are big because that helps us to have money that we know is coming in
Yeah.
that we can count on.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. You know,
Yeah, we have event sponsorship. So we have our Family Fun Festival in May, which is really set up for the foster families that we serve. We have different agencies that come out. We had Guardian Ad Litem and Seven Homes was there. And so it's really set up for the families to
Yeah.
be able to have fun and to not have to for the children to be able to get their
Yeah.
face painted and to
yeah,
have their
right,
nails
yeah,
done and
yeah.
to, you know, jump on these bounce houses for free. And those, you know, there's event sponsorship that is for that. We're hoping that it'll become more of a fundraiser.
Yeah.
We have our Royal Ball, which is coming up on Thursday, October 10th.
Yeah.
We have
Yes,
sponsorship
it'll be fun.
available for that. Table hosts are needed. We
Okay.
also have,
I think we got a table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
oh, it's gonna be fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Put your dancing shoes on.
Awesome.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Get to
good.
dress up and, you know.
It's the most
Absolutely.
fun fundraiser you will ever go to.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm all about
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Can't wait.
Yes. Yeah.
So how many volunteers would you say that you have like on a regular basis now that's committed, like Pat?
That comes in
Yeah,
consistently,
yeah,
like every
yeah.
week. Probably 40.
Like, oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot more than I thought. Wow.
Yeah. Well, like
Okay.
every Saturday we're open. And so
Okay.
we have a team that comes in on the first Saturday and another team on the second Saturday and another team, you know,
Okay, yeah.
that kind of thing. And then we have people throughout during the week, like Pat, that, you know, Pat and Donna.
Yep.
Sorry, Donna. Donna's there every week as well. I just work directly with Pat, and then Donna works with our program manager.
It's like, hey, what about me?
Yeah, but they're you know, they come every Tuesday. There's only Wednesday and Sunday are the only days that we don't have volunteers in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
but it looks like check-in, when people come in and bring donations, they can help with expiration, looking to see if the products are expired, recalls, they clean the products, they everything that we have in our resource center has really gone through 2 or 3 hands before it goes out, because we really, again, that goes back to that dignity. We want them to feel valued, and we don't take things in that are not gently used that you would want to place on yourself or on your own children. And
I was going to ask about that, because I think sometimes when people take things to Goodwill, they kind of have the mindset like, all right, well, I'm going to just take all my junk, my trash, rather than throw it in a dumpster, I'll just, kind of like give it to somebody else, and that's kind of a,
and that makes sense at Goodwill, because they're set up for all kind of recycling, right? They have job training, let me teach you how to fix this broken computer. So for Goodwill, that's great. And we're huge supporters of Goodwill and the work that they do in our community. We do partner with them. We have 3 of their bins in our warehouse.
Oh, awesome.
So when stuff comes into Family Room that doesn't pass our inspection, we do try to be very selective, because we're not going to hand somebody a car seat that they have to clean before they put a child in it, know?
Well, and certainly it's got to work,
Right. Yes. We check all of that stuff. And even that for the kids, we even take it to the next level, that we have a volunteer that comes in and does our books. When you walk in our lobby, you see bookshelves full of children's books, and she checks every one to make sure it doesn't have another child's name in it, that it hasn't been colored in, that the content of the book is going to be appropriate for a child who is in foster care, like
culturally appropriate.
And culturally appropriate. I mean, I use the example of the book, Are You My Mother? I love that book. It's a great kids book. It's wonderful. Not the best book to have on the shelf for a 7-year-old who just got removed from his home, right?
Very triggering.
Exactly. I mean, I'm a thrift store, consignment store, Goodwill shopping mom, and I'll root through all the things. That's not who we are.
Right. Gotcha.
We make sure that it's clean and organized, and just treats them with the respect that they deserve for what they're going through at that time.
Well, that's one of the things that I noticed, is that everything was really, really nice. Everything was. The beds, the clothes, and all that. I was like, man, where are they getting this stuff? So that's cool that there's a lot of people that know about you guys and that are constantly donating. So the biggest need, though, you said socks, underwear, brand new, obviously. And I think you guys had a link on your site with Amazon.
We do. Amazon.
Okay, so it's like a wish list. Okay.
And we try to keep that updated with the greatest needs.
Okay.
Because right now we just had somebody do a donation drive, so they brought us a bunch of brand new underwear, but we need socks. So we try to keep the Amazon wish list updated.
Okay.
Right now, our new things, the 3 biggest small items would be baby wipes, new socks for kids.
Okay.
And that high calorie formula that she was talking about, Similac and Neosure.
Okay. Then as far as furniture, like beds, you guys
twin beds
always
till
use.
The day is long. I have to go back to the office and buy twin beds today.
They have to be new too. So
the mattresses are new.
Okay.
Yeah, but we take used the bed itself.
Okay.
We need twin beds.
Like the frame.
The frame.
Okay. But the mattress has to be brand new.
Yes.
Okay.
So we buy those.
Okay.
Again, we buy them from the same company because he gives us a really, really good deal.
Okay.
We buy 10 at a time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
But the
have to
bed
get that.
frames themselves, we need a lot of
You're going to have to give us that info.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will.
Maybe
Yeah.
help you guys out a little bit on that. Yeah. So awesome. All right. Well, talk to me about some of the biggest challenges foster parents face. Obviously, we've already talked to some of them. Is there anything else that you want to mention other than what you've already mentioned?
I'm trying to think about just personal.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I would say, go ahead.
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
just thinking, just sometimes resources in terms of, just resources in terms of the support that you can receive, whether it is support groups, online. We partner with Foster Family Alliance, and they have some great resources there on their Facebook page. But sometimes there can be conflicting information out there.
Yeah.
You're just hearing from different people, because each experience truly is different. Each placement, each case is completely different. And so that is probably one of the most challenging things is finding out what the specific child that you have in your home needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, for me personally, when I was a foster parent, the biggest challenge was the lack of control over anything.
Oh, yeah.
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 They don't have a say. And a lot of people don't understand that, these kids, until they're adopted, they have parents.
Yeah.
You're their foster parent and you play a crucial role. But if the goal is reunification, the foster parents don't have control over when the kids get to visit their parents, when they get to see their grandparents, and they have to be the ones to tell the kids, I'm sorry you can't go see Uncle Joey this weekend.
And
the social worker said no, and you are not going to know why the social worker said no. So being that emotional support for the kids,
huge,
when they have no control, these kids they're not in foster care for anything they did wrong.
Right.
And they have no control over anything.
Yeah.
And so to be the person there that has to hold their hand and wipe their tears when they're walking through all of that, for me, that's the hardest thing that.
Yeah.
So the stuff, the foster parents should never have to worry about the stuff, things,
It's kind of that secondary trauma that you're kind of walking through with them.
Yeah.
And you're processing with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So, is it 100% of the time, or is it just like most of the time that they can't go back to see their parents at all, even supervised?
It's every single situation is different.
Okay, so sometimes they can maybe
Sometimes
visit.
they can,
okay.
yes. Sometimes immediately, that first week, they start getting visits with mom or dad or grandma. But then sometimes it's we as the social worker, we can't allow them to have visitations until the judge gives the okay, and court is in 4 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
So it could look like, in-person visits. It could look like overnight visits, depending upon where the case is, or the plan is. It could look like a video call. If parents live out of state, that was something that we had.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what's the long-term vision, the long-term plan for Family Room? Yeah.
We talking dreams? We talking dreams? Because
wherever you want to go with it.
You know what? It's not a dream anymore. It's a goal. I believe you get a dream and you make a goal and you make a plan to make it happen.
There
right?
You go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My long-term goal for Family Room, the two biggies, is own our own building.
Okay.
So that every penny that comes in is going right back into caring for children in foster care. Awesome. And another location.
Yeah. Okay.
Somewhere else in North Carolina.
Okay.
Multiply.
Because last year we served kids in 30 of the 100 counties from this location right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have no geographical restrictions.
Yeah.
If they're in foster care and they have a need, you can come.
Yeah.
And get whatever you need for them.
So do you kind of have a vision for how many locations, or you're just going to kind of take it as a?
The goal is another location in North Carolina.
Yeah.
The dream is one in North Carolina and one in Florida. Right?
Okay. I gotcha.
That's
got some ties in Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And there's twice as many kids in foster care
in
than there are in
too.
North Carolina.
Okay.
There are California, some of the bigger states like that definitely have.
Yeah. There's literally twice as many kids in foster care in Florida than there are in North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if somebody wants to volunteer, what's the first step? Just
FamilyRoomTriad.com. Yeah.
FamilyRoomTriad.com. Okay. All right. And then if it's a foster parent that's in need of your services, same thing.
Call.
Okay.
Give us a call.
And what's the number?
336-900-0878.
All right. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys, your time, coming in and talking to me more about Family Room.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully this message will, go out even further than, where it is already. And you guys can get some more volunteers.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very much.
Any last things you want to say? Any comments or anything?
Just everybody remember that not everyone can foster, but everyone can help.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
We
All right.
appreciate it.
See you guys.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
You.